What is up, you guys? It's the Fallout Reviewer, and today I'm going to do the what if Deku had an Omni Sword Quirk, part 2, I think. Yeah, no, part 3. Or, I really don't know which part it was. I usually do part 0 first, then part 1. So, this is going to be part 3, I believe. So, anyway, where we last left off, Deku went back home, and he's pretty much cool with Froppy. Froppy is going to be betrothed to him. Froppy, she has something for Deku. She just, she doesn't know what to do. She told her family already, and Deku pretty much is going to have to tell his family, like, oh yeah, I'm going to actually be dating this one girl, and I'm going to get married to her. So, when this all happened, Deku talks to his father. He tells him, how are you, son? And Deku pretty much replies with, oh, I'm doing fine. By the way, I'm dating somebody. And Hisashi says, oh, really? Well, that's nice. And Deku says, yes, that is nice. The thing is, she has a cool quirk. And Hisashi says, oh, really? What is this girl's quirk? He says, it's a reptilian quirk. Hisashi doesn't like this. He says, reptilian quirk, you said. She's, alright. She has a reptilian quirk, so does this mean she has, a lizard quirk? Deku says, no. Okay. She has a frog quirk. Deku says, yes, she does. And this is when Hisashi says, Izuku, does she happen to be the daughter of the assassination family? And Deku has nothing to say. He says, Alright. I'm not going to be mad with you. I'm just disappointed in the fact that you could have told us. And Deku says, well, this happened 2 days ago. And he says, oh, fair enough. I won't get mad at you at that at all. So, what, is this going to be like a little date time thing? And Deku says, not exactly. This is, Deku. Well, he says this is not like a dating kind of thing. This is more like betrothed. And this is when Hisashi grabs his sake, and he grabs the bottle instead of the little what is it called, the little cup, and he just takes a big gulp of it, and he says, alright. Tell me more about this. So he starts explaining what had happened, and he realizes she's not that bad of a person. So this is when Hisashi says, don't assume that this girl isn't bad. Just because she likes you doesn't mean she won't kill you. I would know. I had people try that with me all the time. Well, back in, my younger years. Deku says, I know that much. There's gonna be somebody who uses me for that, but she doesn't want to kill me. She tried to kill me beforehand. And he says, there we go. I knew it. And this is when he says, but she didn't want to kill me just because. She wanted to kill me because other people would try to kill him. And this could be a constant, this could be Deku's constant fear of being attacked. So she decided to do it herself. Hisashi says, fine. I won't get mad at her or anything like this. You just got to tell your mom. And this is when Inko, he talks to Inko. It goes much more worse because she cares about his son, and she's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to understand this. No, Deku's mom went to Mama Bear mode, and she basically was like, what did they do to my baby? And this is when Deku says, look, I'm going to keep going out with her, and well, with a lot of persuasion and a lot of, Deku not standing down to this. She said okay. Deku said alright. And Froppy had the worst of it because she was supposed to kill him. And, well, because she didn't, Deku lived. She got punished, but in the very end, they could have a plan about this. Now, this goes for the worst here, because a month later into their relationship, Deku and Froppy are pretty much, they're not like just hardcore doing stuff. They're just, going to do what they want to do. They know that they're not going to be married until a very long time, so she said Deku could technically go out with somebody, even though she won't, because, there's nobody like her. Well, there's nobody that she likes in the school. So Deku said, alright. Now, Tokoyami, she really hates Froppy because she likes Deku. Surprise, surprise. She likes him so much, in fact, but because of Deku not always talking to her, and because Deku isn't going to be like, oh yeah, come here and give me some love. No. This Tokoyami is basically just kind of sad because she can't do it. So, what happens after that is Deku gets kidnapped. And how did this happen? Deku, in the meantime, basically, while he was asleep and other people were asleep in the family, a group of bad people snuck in, took down their guards, tracked Izuku's location, and basically grabbed him and just basically left. This is actually going to be Shigaraki's family, or at least his clan. The drug producers and drug users and all that stuff. Deku went, and basically he was tied up, and he realizes where he was at. This is when Deku grabs his soul sword and just slash the ropes. He kicks somebody in the head, and this is when he just gets up. He falls down to the ground. This is when he gets shot with a gun. And this gun basically makes him sleepy, and it dampens his quirk abilities for a while. This is when Deku tries to, he uses his sidestep quirk and basically gets like probably 12 feet away from Deku, or away from, Shigaraki's men. This is when Deku tries to get up, but he feels limp. And Shigaraki basically punches him in the head, causing Deku to get knocked out. So, while everything's happening, a day goes, well, technically not even 5 hours. 5 hours later, Deku is missing. They thought he went to Froppy's location. No, they didn't go to Froppy's location at all. None of them did. No, none of them. He never did. He never went to Froppy's to Froppy. Froppy says that she hasn't seen him at all. Not only that, Tokoyami hasn't seen him at all. So this is kind of worrying, Hisashi and Inko. They basically send out their families to check around to see where he's at. Nobody found anything. This is actually scaring Hisashi because of his quirk. And he heard of a man that basically... He heard of a man that took quirks from other people. Deku basically looks around after waking up for at least let's see, half a day, and basically Deku is getting talked to by Shigaraki, saying, not Shigaraki, Chisake. It's, oh gosh, it's Chisaki. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. Yeah, golly. Okay, that was Overhaul. I'm talking about Overhaul right now, not Shigaraki. I am so sorry, you guys. That was... Gosh, I'm an idiot. Oh, man. Okay, so... Okay. Deku is being taken by Chisaki. And Deku asks him, where is he at? Why is he here? Chisaki says, because of his quirk. Yeah, they heard of his quirk already. They've seen what had happened, and they also know what Chisaki wants. He wants the ability to produce quirked drugs. But technically, he can produce quirked drugs to amplify or decrease the effects of the user, and it's already working. Okay, it's already working. Deku says, "Why do you need me, though? I have done nothing wrong to you." This is when Chisaki says, "No, you haven't done a thing to us, but we're thinking we might as well use you in our plans to give anybody the ability to copy any quirk that they want to for a while. This could work wonders. We could sell this to anywhere, to anyone." Deku says, "But this is my quirk." And this is when Shigaraki says, "Oh yeah, I forgot. This is your quirk. And your quirk is also that of the Wrath family. What was your quirk again?" "Oh yeah, using other people's quirks. You can't hide behind, you using other people's quirks. Just as much as I can't hide behind the fact that I'm going to enjoy making a lot of money and proving myself to my master." Deku says, "You're not going to get away with this. I have a family. They'll come and find me." This is when Chisaki says, "Really? Do you think they're going to find you? We're not known by a lot of people. Our main commission is drug selling. And also taking what could be ours. The reason why we haven't attacked your family was because your family is one of the strongest families out there. But with your help and the drugs that we're going to be using from your blood, you can bet that I'll bet that you have something hidden there that can give us the edge we need. And Deku says, over my dead body. Just kill me and get it over with. You don't need me. You really don't need me. I'm not worth anything. This is when Chisaki says, over your dead body. No, because I know what you're actually here. I know what your fear is. And Deku says, what is it? This is when Chisaki says, your fear is that you'll get your family killed. But if you don't cooperate, that will be a thing. So be quiet, and this will probably hurt a little bit. This is when the doctors start grabbing him and actually tying him down. Deku was just given quirk dampening shot, so he can't even use his quirk even if he wanted to. And this is when he's technically going to sleep, and he can't do a thing. Deku is trying to wake up, but he's sleeping. This is when the next day he wakes up and he says, oh, this is a bad dream. Getting up, and his whole body starts to reek in pain. Sorry about that. Anyway, Deku says, why? Why do I hurt so much? Why are there bandages on me? And he sees that he's been sewn. He has a lot of cuts on him. Scalpels next to the room. And he sees that he can't actually get up. Well, he can get up, but only a little bit. He's on his bed again. This is when he tries to walk, but he's like a baby. He can't do a thing. This is when Deku says, it's alright. I'll get help. My family will be here for me. And this is when they start testing him everywhere. They start using his blood. Not only that, they use Eri to restore his blood. So, in the very end, Deku is technically being used as a guinea pig and having mass productions of his blood just being taken. Now, he meets Eri probably about a week, and he talks to her, saying, who are you? Eri says, I'm Eri. And Deku says, alright, I now know what your name is. What are you doing here? And he has his eyes closed. He saw her for a second, but he knows that she's harmless. Eri says, I'm here. And Deku says, what are you doing here? And she says, I don't know, but I can see the bandages on you. And Deku says, yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? It's alright, you don't have to worry about these bandages. Eri says, we have the same kind of bandages. And Deku just pulls his eyes up. He opens his eyes to see that Eri is actually having the same bandages on her. But after looking at her, she has so much fear. And this is when Deku says, oh wow, you're a very strong person. It hurt me a lot. How do I, Deku doesn't know what to say. He fears what had happened to this girl. Deku tries to summon his soul sword, but it's not doing a thing. It's as if he's trying to control it, but it pretty much just loses its power after Deku takes a breath. Deku doesn't know what to do, actually. He knows that he's going to have to get out of here. I can't even breathe. It's sometimes hard to breathe as well. Maybe I should not talk at all. But she still needs help. Deku doesn't know what to do besides just pray that his family finds him. But this happens for more years to come. And what I mean by that is, Deku is in 7th grade. 2 years later, not 2 years, a year and a half later goes by. Deku is pretty much on the ground, breathing lightly, and Eri's basically still scared because they test on her every time, but Chisaki heals her 100%. But with Deku, he uses Eri's ability to heal her 100%. But the thing about him is that he's like reconstructing his body. But with Eri, it's like she's only letting the pain. She's only taking away the minimum of the pain that she can take, and not only that, making sure that his blood is a little full. So she's not doing a thing at all to him. This is when Deku just looks around. He looks at what has happened over the past year, and he basically tries to tell Eri that why don't they just go out? And she says, "What do you mean?" And Deku says, "We could just try to get out of here. Me and you can go outside, you know. We could look at the world. We could see what the world has for us. We can run around. We can play. I'll make sure to take care of you. I'll be your big brother." And Eri says, "What's a big brother?" And Deku says, "Well, there's such things as like people like me and you. It's just one of us. But if there's another person, and they stick close to us, and they care about us a lot, and they take care of us, and, you know, they try to love us, and give us the happiness we need in life, it's kind of like that. Like a big brother. So I'll be your big brother. Alright? I look leaner, at least. I don't have my baby cheeks anymore. I look weird. My long hair. I do look strong. Although I look, you know, I don't look like myself anymore. But that's not going to stop me. Eri, let's go together. And this is when Deku knows how many more hours it's going to take before he has to go and get his own testing again. Usually the guards don't come around until afterwards. But Deku he starts running around, and he starts pumping himself up, just getting stronger in his mind. And he says, "Hey, are you there? I need your help." And this is when his alternative side, ego, decides to wake up. It says, "Yeah, what do you want from me? You never need me when something bad happens, but now all of a sudden you won't care to talk to me. Why is that?" Deku says, "Look, there's me and a little girl. And Deku says, and Ego says, "Oh, really?" And Deku says, "If you look outside and you look at what she looks like, you'll see as much as you'll see that we're not in both the best condition." And Deku basically lets Ego take over his whole body, and he looks around and he has his memories. And Ego says, "What the hell have they done to us? Look at me. I look nice." And this is when he starts having that memory of Eri. And he looks at her, and he sees the fear coming around her. She's scared about, Deku. She's scared of what's going to happen to her, and he feels that fear. Ego might not be the most kindest person at all, but that doesn't mean he's an evil person. He says, you want me to help you get out of here?" And Deku says, "Yes. If not me, just take her. I don't care what happens to me after that, as long as she's safe." Ego says, "No problem." And he says, "Wait, what? You're not going to get mad at me? You're not going to tell me anything? You're not going to abuse me?" Ego says, "You're in a lot of pain too. It's best if I help you out. If I'm going to ever punish you after what you made us go through for all this time, then yes, I feel a little upset right now. But at this very moment, my objective is to take them out and to take her away from here as soon as possible." This is when Deku says, "Ego, I never knew that you had such something kind in you." And this is when Ego says, "Shut up. It's my turn now, isn't it?" Grabbing his sword and basically cutting down the bars with his soul sword. This is when Deku starts to see that he has something glowing in his right arm. And Ego says, "What is this?" Deku says, "I don't know what it is." Ego says, "It doesn't matter at the moment. What matters is that we have to take her away from us, with us. Oh, my body hurts." And Deku says, "Our body hurts. Semantics. No semantics. This is my body." Alright. If this is your body, then let's see how strong you've gotten. This is when Ego, basically, his body feels so heavy. And Ego's wondering, we haven't eaten. We haven't drinking anything in the past 2 days. They're probably trying to make sure that we're not strong enough to get out of here. But this is when he starts cutting down Eri's door. And basically kicking it as hard as he can. Breaking into it. And saying, "Well, hello, Eri. I'm not Izuku at the moment. But I am his friend. I am a part of him. I'm going to take you away from this place as soon as possible." And this is when he grabs Eri and says, "Make sure to hold on tight. Grab my hair if you need to, because we're going to have to get out of here as fast as we can." And this is when Deku basically starts having his sword burn and burn and burn. And he starts to just jump as high as he can, using his brother's technique. And he's saying, "Sidestep." This is when he starts running away from one of the rooms. And he just says, "Screw it. There's no time to find anything out. There's no time to find a place to go to." This is when he just starts cutting down the doors. And basically cutting away from the walls. And he actually has to get backwards for a moment towards the door. And then charge as fast as he can. Using his father's quirk. And basically using Hisashi's quirk to burst a fireball towards the freaking wall that leads to the outside. And he says, "Great." Oh, sunshine. Is this what air smells like? It feels nice. And it smells like garbage. He realizes where he's at and he says, never mind. So, he's gotten out of the basement. After that, he has to go towards, well, somewhere. But he doesn't know where. So, he tries to find a familiar street. But he hasn't found one yet. Until he starts to remember where everything was at. So pretty much he starts just hyperventilating and starts calming himself down. Ego basically is looking around and saying, "Found ya," and just actually starts running. This is when he just feels so heavy. And he says, Alright, enough running. Enough running. Oh gosh, I feel so sick. This is when Deku says, oh, we need to eat something. And he looks at this little maid cafe. And he goes towards one of the women. And the women are blushing, and he says, I need some coffee and some cake. And she says, oh, yeah, right away. She looks at him, and he doesn't look that bad. He looks very good for his age. So this is when Deku drinks down the hot coffee, and he feels the burning in his tongue, and just starts eating the cake. And he says, alright, here, have some. This is when he basically gives Eri some of the cake as well. She eats it, and her cheeks are actually glowing, or her turning rosy red. And this is when Deku says, you like it? And she says, this is very tasty. And Deku says, we're gonna get more once we go home, or get to my house. And this is when Deku says, call this, what's it called? Do you have a pen? And she gives her the pen. No, he gives her the pen, and he says, this is the number to my family's household. Call them, and they'll give you the money that, they'll give you the money that I owe you. And this is when Deku just keeps trying to go home. But other people, there's bad guys. And he knows what hold on here, let me try to think for a second. Okay. So if there's Deku, there's gonna be bad guys outside now. So he has to be very careful of where he's at. And he's hiding amongst the shadows. This is when two people are saying, have you seen the boy and the girl? And Deku says, alright, I just have to get out of here. And basically, one day, sorry about that. 1 hour later, Deku is there, saying, where am I at? And this is when basically Ego says, don't worry, I know what to do. If we just wait until it's darker, then maybe we won't actually get caught. And this is when Deku basically just keeps hiding among the shadows, walking, after he felt some kind of stomach ache, after realizing that, eating too fast can do that to you. But Deku's muscles are feeling better, at least. So he starts he's walking with his sword, just pushing himself like if he was an old man. This is when a person in black basically looks at him. It says, there he is. And two other guys start running towards him. And Deku basically says, you want to fight? We'll fight. And basically starts slashing his opponents down, stabbing them. And he wonders why why is Ego doing this? And he realizes that you have to kill people in order to survive. There's no such thing as a fight where blood isn't going to be drawn at times. Either you fight to win, or you fight to survive. And in this case, you had to fight to survive. Deku's instincts start kicking in, or Ego's instincts start kicking in, and he cuts one of his opponents in the head, and basically, he's headless. That's pretty much it about him. And this is when the guy says, "Hey, we need some other people." And Deku just starts shooting out another quirk. And instead of using his brother's quirk, he uses his father's quirk to swap that out. So he can't use his father's quirk for the moment, or for the next day. And all he could do is just basically keep running. So the other two are basically being fear manipulated. And Deku finally makes it to his house until other people decide to run, try to chase at Deku. But he doesn't know where he doesn't even know what to do. Because either A, they're gonna have to fight them one day, or B, Deku's gonna have to give up Barry. And Deku doesn't like those odds. So basically he walks home. Or walks inside the room. Or inside like the front yard of the house. And the guards basically tell him, "Who are you? We do not want to fight you. We do not have any guests coming today." And this is when they see his sword, and they're like, "Oh, so you're gonna try to challenge us, eh? All right. We won't hesitate to cut you down." And Deku looks at them and basically says silence. And this is when they feel themselves getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And this is when Ari says, "What's happening?" And Deku says, "Don't worry, Ari. I got this." And this is when they're like, "Wait a minute. It can't be." And this is when they start, one of them grabs a horn and basically just hits it really hard. Or not hits it, he blows on it very hard. And basically a loud noise is made. And other people start to blow their horns. And until, probably a minute later, everybody starts to go outside. And they look at Deku. Deku looks different. And he has so many scars at the moment that Hisashi looks at him, and Iko looks at him, and they just start running and hugging him. And this is when Deku says, "Hello, Mom, Dad. I'm back home." And this is when Deku says, I have a sister now. Or I have somebody that's going to live with me." And this is when they see little Eri. Deku says, "Alright, how have you been?" And they're like, "Where were you at?" And they start asking him questions. And they start asking him, "What are all these scars?" And this is when Deku says, I'll talk about it later. But for now, I'm tired." This is when he falls, he's about to fall. But this is when his grandfather rushes at his side and grabs him before he can fall and hit his head. And he actually cuts off the freaking shirt that was attached to Eri to carry her. And this is when Deku says, "Thank you. I'm going to sleep. And this is when, Grandpa says, well, who do we have here? Hello, little one. You can call me grandfather. I'm Izuku's grandfather. And this is when she basically is tired and just goes, and she's sleeping now. And this is when they start carrying him and have, like, medical professionals in their family just checking them out. This is when Deku and Eri just sleep next to each other, her holding Deku's hand, and Deku just pretty much thanking Ego, and Ego saying, hello, I'm here to thank you. Ego says nothing, and he just says, I help you so that way me and you don't have to die. That way, if any time you need me, just call on me. You're lucky, to be honest, to survive this much. I thought that you were weak. I thought that I was in a hell where I had to babysit you. But you had more strength than that. You called on me, even when you didn't want to call on me. Maybe I was wrong about you. Deku says, alright. Hopefully next time, we can help each other instead of being enemies. And this is when Deku starts seeing Ego. And Ego says, well, until next time. And this is when Deku just basically goes to sleep. And his mind, Ego says, I will watch over you until the day you die. Or until the day you are the strongest. That is when you do not have any need for me anymore. And hopefully Eri, well, your little sister, doesn't need my protection anymore. Until then, goodbye. This is where I'm going to end it off. The next part's actually going to go to the Deku's training, or not his training, to the USJ exclamation, or no, the USJ sorry about that. The USJ entrance exam. So hopefully you guys like it, and I liked it. So yeah, pretty much I have spoken about this. Now, like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout. If you're here, bye.